Quinnen Williams, as good as he is, as talented as he is, just got there. Logan Wilson just got there. As I said, Obershon's back, played 30 reps. Rebel played 19 reps. You got to see where these guys are long-term physically. But what you can say is that they're much better than they were. And all their defensive numbers look terrible. Since the Eagles have that kind of hubris to say it's about us, I'll say it's about the Eagles, and I haven't seen the Eagles run the football consistently.
John, I want to talk about the Eagles' defense. All right, they have really come alive in recent weeks. Really have played their best 2 games the last 2 weeks versus 2 of the best offenses in football in the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. Eagles' defense deserves a lot of credit for that. Dominant D, John, or too early to tell?
A little bit too early to tell, but I think, as I said, the history of Vic Fangio everywhere is they get better as the season goes on. And I expect that to continue. Now, I do think the last 2 weeks, a little bit of an outlier. You can't just perform at that level for consistent 17 weeks in general, but you see the ceiling and the weather played a part of it. Because remember, the Green Bay defense looked pretty good and the Detroit defense looked pretty good. So there's something to the weather impacting those games. This is a big one because it's going to be a pristine environment, big time offense. I just talked glowingly about George Pickens.
Yeah.
CD's back playing at a high level, quarterback, high volume thrower, good running game, which
quarterback's playing at a high level too. Not only is he a high volume thrower, but he's
playing at a high level. Good tight end, which has been missing over the past couple of weeks, although he's not nearly as explosive as those guys, Kraft and Laporta, who were out. So if they go in there and have a great defensive game against Dallas on the road, then I'm fueling up the hype train. I think it's going to be a little bit of a step back, but they're a good defense. I don't think there's any question about that now. They're a good defense, and they're getting better. Jalen Carter's getting healthier. Jalen Hunt is turning it on now that he gets to sort of not be counted on and, can relax a little bit.
Cowboy game too. I wonder if he's got a little bit of an extra juice for this game because he, obviously missed that first Cowboy game with the incident with the spitting and all that crap.
Yeah. Well, Carter, I don't worry about Carter. It's just a matter of how big the impact is on a week. But to Hunt's point, he's gotten much better since Jalen Phillips has gotten here. I don't think that's a coincidence at all. And then, like I said, I can't say enough good things about Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. And the linebackers. I think, Zach Bond is just, man, he's consistent.
Yeah.
And again, last year was so spectacular from a splash play aspect, but he's just a good football player, Zach Bond. And I think everybody's seen what N'Kobe has added from a physicality, football intelligence standpoint. And then career years from Moro Ojomo, career year from Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis, player of the week, defensive player of the week. He was special teams player of the week early. First Eagle ever to win both those awards in the same season. Yeah, they got a lot of guys they got to pay. They got to pay Jordan Davis. Now, they got to pay Quinyon down the road. They got to pay Cooper. They got to pay.
Yeah, and how much is Cooper and Quinyon's price going up if both of those guys land on the All-Pro team this year?
Phillips, Jalen Carter. The reckoning is coming
Oh,
for
it's
that
coming.
offense.
It is freaking coming. All right, John, where do you see the advantage for this defense? Or not, maybe not the advantage, but just the challenge. I mean, you get the Cowboys are, for everybody out there, the Cowboys are the number 3 offense in pro football. They are the number 1 passing offense in pro football, and they are the number 12 rushing offense in pro football. They are and the number 2 scoring offense in pro football. In the red zone, they are 13th, and on third downs, they are 6th. This is a high-powered offense, John, playing really well. Where's the advantage for the Eagles' defense? And really, where do you think the keys are for this defense? What do you think the most important thing in this game for the defense to take away or mitigate for the Eagles to be successful in this one?
Well, definitely pass rush. I mean, definitely. If
Dak does not get sacked a lot, John. He's one of the lowest sack guys in the league right now.
no, and again, it's not about sacks. It's about speeding them up.
That's
Same
right.
thing with Jared Goff. It's about making him uncomfortable. Because if he's comfortable, you're going to have some issues. And their offensive line, if you look at, is not the strength that he once was. Now, I think Booker's doing a good job as a rookie. But, the Eagles' interior has been crazy. So that would be their strength is the guards, which are Booker and Tyler Smith, who's a really good player. But everybody else, BB's okay. But was he on their injury report because he's been in and out? But he's a guy, and then their tackles are not that good. Terrence Steele and Tyler Guyton, they're okay.
BB was not on their injury report. Yeah. Nobody was being paid, but it was estimated.
Yeah, it was estimated. They did a walkthrough. So that means BB's back. So that should help a little bit. And then Guyton and Steele, to me, it's a edge rushing game more than an interior game. I never want to say the Eagles' interior rush isn't going to do something though, because they're so good. But to me, the weaker players on their offensive line are the tackles.
Yeah, and their offensive line has gotten better. I mean,
it's okay. It's above average.
Definitely.
Back in the Zach Martin days, I mean, when they would blow them out down there, when they had a really good offensive line. They don't have that, but it's still above average, and it's getting better because Booker's a good player.
Yeah.
Tyler Smith, he's a lot of people call him the strongest player in the league.
He was an all-pro, wasn't he, Tyler Smith? Yeah.
Strongest player. So you're not gonna bull rush that guy a lot. Everything's about leverage, but big, strong guy. So, they got a lot to work with offensively. But it's interesting, because this is the team, like, be careful what you wish for. This is what you're wishing for, this team offensively. And they win some games and they lose some games.
Yeah, but their defense, I mean, come on. Let's be real here. You're telling me if we had this type of offense with our defense, we would lose a lot more? I'm sorry, I just can't believe that.
Not a lot more, but
we would turn the ball over a couple more times. Like that,
you can't win. I'll say this: you can't win much more than you win.
That's fair. Fair.
I mean, if you turn it over a couple more times, you're probably going to lose. Not a lot, but you're probably going to lose a little bit more often.
All right, John, corners in this game. Tough receivers, man. You've just pointed it out. Pickens playing like one of the best receivers in football. CeeDee Lamb is obviously still the threat that he is. Dak Prescott gets those guys the ball so easily. Sometimes it, makes my head spin when I watch them and I watch the Eagles, and it looks like nails on a chalkboard trying to get A.J. Brown the ball. And then I watch Dak Prescott, and he's flicking the ball around to George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, easy money. What do you expect from the corners here? And you mentioned it earlier, but just let's get clarity in this segment because I'm going to post this segment up as alone. Quinion, expecting him to travel. Cooper in the slot will help because CD lines up in the slot. How do you kind of see that part of it shaking out?
Yeah, well, I'm sure that's what the Cowboys and that's what Brian Schottenheimer is trying to draw up. How do I get George Pickens or CeeDee Lamb on a Dory Jackson? Um, and it's going to be interesting to see how Vic sort of limits that. You can't limit it completely, but that's what you have to worry about. If Pickens specifically, because to me Pickens is better than Lamb, as crazy as that is, because CeeDee Lamb's a great receiver, but I can't say enough good things about George Pickens. That's the guy I worry about, and he's been special this season.
He's
And
physical too. Like he's going to be a good.
he's big dude. He's
because Quignon's a little bit of a handsy corner. He gets away with some stuff. He's got that pedigree now. It feels like. Pickens is a good matchup for him.
Well, I mean, it's sort of like the old my NBA comparison. 30-point score. He's going to get his.
Yeah,
right. You just want to make him work for it. They're going to throw for some yardage. I mean, be prepared for it. It's not 40-mile-an-hour winds. They're going to throw. They're going to be able to throw the football a little bit. You just want to. It's going to be a different style of game, I think, than it has been the past couple weeks. That's why I think people get too hyper-focused on what they just saw, like it's going to continue. Like, it's a completely different environment indoors in Dallas versus what was going on in Philly on Sunday night. The game is going to be played differently. So, it's not going to be lights out defense for either team. I don't think. So from that perspective, look, again, you want to make them work. And this goes with CeeDee Lamb. You want to make them work and make it difficult. And that's what Quignon does, and that's what Cooper does. And that's why they're so good. Because you're really of all the, if you tell me if you ask me the toughest place to play in the NFL, most people would say quarterback. I say cornerback. Everything is against those guys. And then you get a crew that is calling the handsy stuff and he can't do anything. And
is Quignon handsy? Somebody in the chat just told me I'm crazy for saying Quignon handsy.
My God, he's handsy as shit. But the beauty of that is, you start to get a reputation as a big time player and you start to get away with more.
Yeah.
And you start to get that reputation. And that's a good thing. Yeah, but come on, dude. He's handsy as shit. I don't know who said that to you. Look, early in the season, he's all over the place.
He is
grabbing jerseys.
What do you be watching? So he's barely speaking proper English there. But yeah, he is very handy, Lord.
Oh my God. Watch the games. He's pulling jerseys every game because he can get away with it. By the way, nothing wrong with that. He's a smart player.
Yeah, again, it wasn't a knock. It was simple. It was a simple, observation of the corner. He's a handy guy. He's physical.
I've had these discussions with Darius Slay, who's going to the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. He was a smart dude when it comes to playing that position. And Slay told me, yeah, man, if they're giving you something, it's like a pitcher. It's like Greg Maddux. I always compared Slay to Greg Maddux. You throw it an inch off the plate because Greg Maddux had such great control, and he tried to get 2 inches. And he tried to go out and see what the ump was going to give him that day. Same thing with a great corner. You get a little jerk of the jersey. All right, lets it go. He's letting us play. The film, what we be watching, the film is all over the place with him grabbing jerseys, dude. All over. Nothing wrong with it either, because he's getting that reputation and he's earned that reputation and he should do that.
We just said a couple seconds ago, the guy's about to be an all-pro. People hear what they want to hear. It is what it is, John. It's a good matchup, though, man, this weekend. And then CeeDee, if you're the Cowboys, I guess, like you said, you're probably trying to get him out on the outside more of this game, not as much in the slot, because you don't want him lined up on Cooper. You want him on a Dory freaking Jackson.
Well, somebody's got to Yeah, if I were the Cowboys, I would. This would be a big Tolbert or Turpin game in the slot. Just to force um force a Dory Jackson to cover one of the two big time receivers. And but that's not how teams operate typically. They like to, be in their comfort zone and, in my opinion, sometimes shoot themselves in the foot, but we'll see how they handle it. But my whole goal this week for the Cowboys is to get Pickens or Lamb on Adoree Jackson as much as possible and take advantage of it. But that's easier said than done, because how many times have we said that? Well, Adoree's in the game, Keely's in the game. Adoree goes out, Keely goes in, vice versa. Why aren't they picking on Keely? I looked at Baker. That's one of the reasons I don't like the Bucs at all. Like they're attacking Quinyon Mitchell and ignoring Keely Ringo.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want that offense. So we'll see. We'll see how the Cowboys, but if I'm Schottenheimer, that's my whole week trying to get that matchup.
Boy, I tell you what, Eagles fans, you guys are funny. I don't know what happened to Philadelphia. Look, this guy's mad at how we talk. We just called him a fucking all-pro, Dabney. What are you talking about, my man? Rat poison, John. We're talking about the best corner in football this way. We called him an all-pro.
Yeah.
That's the highest accolade you can get in football. Is being.
And by the way, I'm an all-pro voter, and I'm voting for Quinyon. Now there's 7. I mean, what
I don't even know why I give these people the fucking time of day. I really don't. These goofy ass motherfuckers. All right, John, going over to the other side. Offensive expectations coming into this game. We're coming off of 2 really ugly games. Obviously, we pointed out how the weather has such an impact on that. It's now going to be the beautiful Dallas weather, and that's that domed stadium. It might have some glare in there, but what are you expecting from the Eagles offense this week versus the Cowboys?
Yeah, I'm expecting it to be a little bit better. Small bar, obviously low bar. But like the assumption that, again, the same thing I said about the defenses. The same thing with the offenses. Like, it doesn't move forward. Detroit's not going to play that way this week. Green Bay's not going to play that way last week, and they didn't. You get out of shitty environments, and things are going to get better just in general. And I do think that people get way too hyper-focused on what they just saw in a league that proves every week that there is no transitive property. There is no week to week. Teams are different. This is an offense that hasn't been good. We can all agree with that. But they still had games where they scored 30 points. They still had the Minnesota game with the perfect passer rating. I mean, there are games that they've been okay.
Yeah.
They're not going to score 10 points and 16 points the rest of the way. And in a pristine environment, believe me, if they only score 16 points in Dallas, they're in trouble, number one. And I'll be shitting all over them if they can only muster 16 points. But I think they'll do better. The question is, what kind of game does it turn into? Games have personalities. I talk about it all the time. Can they win a shootout against this team? Do they need to win a shootout? What you want to do is hold them to, low 20s, and you be able to score high 20s and get out of there with a win. And I think they're capable. And maybe it's, 21 points on offense and a defensive touchdown or a special teams touchdown. But and I think they're capable of doing that on pretty much any week when there's not 40-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, which I think they will obviously have a better week compared to the last couple of weeks. What's the expectation or the thought process on Saquon Barkley? Somebody who's been a big topic of conversation, whether it's on Saquon or the offensive line. I know a lot of people are going a lot of different directions with that. I think the most important thing is just get the damn guy going. I think he's capable of more than he's done this year. For whatever reason, he has not run at such a high level. You think they can get the run game going this week, John?
Yeah, no Lane Johnson. No, they can't get it going with Lane and with Cam.
They're playing a good defensive line. I mean, not great edges, but good interior. Remember, people talk about that. People talk about Kenny Clark and Quinnen, which I do. They also have that Osa guy too, who's a great player. They got a good defense. They got a good interior.
Yeah.
And they got
as Rocco and Clowney is out. As
Ariana Winfrey guy is back as well.
Yeah, they're better. They're getting better on defense. So I think people are going to look at the because they're 31st or 32nd in the NFL overall. I mean, they were terrible, and similar things with Matt Eberflus is a good coordinator, so they're going to get better as not a good head coach, but a good coordinator. They're going to get better as the season goes on, and they're getting better players back, both from injury and they traded for a couple of good players, as I said. So they're getting better. I wouldn't look at those defensive numbers and say that's what you're going to see. They're going to see a much better defense than it looks on paper. But at the same time, there's a lot of uncertainty. I mean, Quinnen Williams, as good as he is, as talented as he is, just got there. Logan Wilson just got there. As I said, Obershon's back, played 30 reps. Rebel played 19 reps. You got to see where these guys are long-term physically. But what you can say is they're much better than they were. And all their defensive numbers look terrible. So if you're just using that, they should be able to throw the ball. They should be able to run the ball. But I think it's a completely different defense than the one they saw week one. And it's getting better. And I kind of lean on, since the Eagles have that kind of hubris to say it's about us, I'll say it's about the Eagles. And I haven't seen the Eagles run the football consistently. So until I see it, which is weird, now people are saying, hey, give Tank Bigsby more reps. I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And without Lane and Cam, I don't know if this is the week where it's going to get going, but we'll see.
Who do you give the advantage to in the trenches?
Well, typically it would be the Eagles, but because of the injuries.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, this weekend it's a different look.
I mean, for all the talk about Fred, good dude, man. I mean, that's a big drop off. And to Brett Totha's credit, he's played better than Cam this season, so I'm not as worried about the center. It's only 2 games, but Brett played really well in those 2 games. So I'm more worried about Fred than Brett, I would say. And that's better from the standpoint of the Cowboys are better on the interior than on the outside.
You think they should get Tank Bigsby more carries? I know you just chuckled at it, but he has run the ball better and he has been decisive with the football, which I think you got the signature Johnny Mac smile over there at that one, but
you got to be careful, man. Got to be careful. I think it's fine what they're doing with Tank. He is explosive, but history says he's got ball security issues. That's why Jacksonville traded him. That's what this team runs on. The more you give him the football, the more that's likely to happen. And you still have Saquon Barkley. Yes, he's not playing well. I'll be the first to say that. But I got to lean on Saquon Barkley. I got to lean on Saquon Barkley. I mean, when you have Saquon, I can't move off that yet.
I'm not saying to move off it, but do you think he's nursing something? Do you think he's got any injuries? Do you think he's still just banged up from the running approach last year? I mean, Look, the history.
I definitely think the numbers, the number of touches took something out of him. But on his worst day, I think he's better than Tank Bigsby on his best day. So if he can be out there, he's out there as far as I'm concerned. I mean, and that's for every snap he can handle. I mean, my goal is to win a Super Bowl if I'm the Eagles. So I ain't taking Saquon off the field for Tank Bigsby unless I have to. Third down's a little bit different because he's had a really poor year pass protecting.
Yeah,
but it's not like you can put Tank out there. That would be more Will Shipley, and that's like, that's like the tallest short guy at the circus. Can't say midget anymore, so I'll say short guy. I mean, none of them.
Why did that word get canceled?
Yeah, that word got canceled. So, and I just used it anyway, but for the comic purposes, I hope people, settle down a little bit. But I mean, my point is they all can't pass protect, but Saquon's been really bad at that this year.
Going to be interesting to see. It is a good matchup down in Dallas. All right, down in Dallas. So it's going to be interesting to see how this team. I don't know what the Eagles' record with Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni is in Dallas. I know they haven't played Dak that much down there, but
yeah, it's
we're the Kelly Greens. I'm not a huge fan of going on the road with the Kellys. I think it's cool, but I like when they do the stadium and the field and all the.
That's a Jeff Kerr question.
I know that's a Jeff Kerr question for sure. That's not a Johnny Mac comment.
I don't give a shit what they're wearing, but
you don't like the Kelly Greens?
Well, I have learned.
You gotta have like some preference, even if it's like a 3% preference.
Well, I do think they look better than. Yeah, I would say they look better than. The midnight green is egregious in my opinion. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But to the point of. And I give Reuben Frank credit for that. He's the exact same way. The Kelly Green is a little different because they make such a big deal out of it. They change the backdrops. The whole thing is different.
Yeah, right. You can tell when they're wearing it.
So if you ask me after that, like if you ask me what they wore right now against the Detroit Lions, I couldn't tell you. I watched the game 3 times. I couldn't tell you. I don't give a shit. I don't give half a shit. I couldn't tell you. You can't either.
Midnight. No, I do. I know what they wore. I mean, I know just because what else the fuck can they wear? They wear midnight green at home if they're not wearing.
Well, they have a lot of different. They had black. At some point, they had the black helmets and the black. Now you can do
people
different
love the
things.
Black helmets. They're okay to me.
Now you can do different things. You can do more different things. But to the point of, and mainly it's just jersey. Like, are they wearing the white or the green? And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't notice. What do I care? Yeah, I know. But I do admit, like, well, I think, boy, I'm going to get in trouble. I think just from an aesthetic standpoint, I think the midnight green is hideous. I think it's Jeffrey Lurie's worst decision ever.
Yeah, wasn't it his wife? Isn't it his wife the one?
I think so, but I so don't get into it. I don't even know because I wasn't here at the time, but
I really want them to bring back the white with Kelly Green. That's what
I don't care, but I will admit the Kelly Green is better than anything else they wear.
Yeah, I will admit that. I'm sensing from you. You like the Kelly Green. You just got to stick here.
No, it's bad. I just said it's better.
Yeah, it's better.
But I mean, I don't care. My favorite uniforms, the only one I said that I actually liked were the Chargers, the old. I thought they always had.
Oh, the old light blue one.
Yeah, the powder blue.
That was fire with LaDainian. I used to. Funny you brought that up. When I was a kid, John, I loved LaDainian Tomlinson. I had a LaDainian Tomlinson light blue jersey I got for Christmas one year, and I was like probably, I don't know, 8 years old, 10 years old. I don't know how old I was, but yeah, that jersey's sick.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I've never been a big jersey guy.
Well,
And
I'm not anymore. I give them away now all on the channel. That's it. I don't wear. I'm not a big jersey wearer at all. I like the jackets or something.
And when I do, I like traditional. Like I like teams that never change. I like traditional, like the Yankees, like the Celtics, like and now they changed in the
Like the
NBA.
Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yeah. Well, Penn State not so much because they're so just plain. So it's like ugh. But yeah, Alabama, yeah, all the teams, Notre Dame never change. Although they change now because they have to with all the special jerseys and they're allowed. It's all about merchandising. It's all about stealing money from you guys. But if you want it,
Well, it's business. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
stealing, but I hear you. The hot take of the day, all right, is the midnight greens are trash.
That's gonna go over well. That's gonna go.
They bitch about that. They got their panties in a bind here. All right, let's go to some super chats. We got about 13 minutes left on the show today. Good initial preview of Eagles Cowboys. Good conversation on the AJ Jalen stuff. Man, am I tired of this crap. As much as we got to talk about it, holy shit, I am sick of this crap. But Deshaun Jackson threw a little water or threw a little gasoline on that fire.
Come on, Deshaun. Like I said, you're a head coach, man. You can't do that anymore.
All right, let's get some super chats here. Blaze says, welcome to McDonald's, Rager and Umbrella Boy. I remember. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Were you covering the Eagles when Umbrella Boy was here? And his mom had the umbrella out of practice for him?
Yeah, JJ, yeah.
Yeah.
JJ, yeah. By the way, in fact, I was standing right next to him at one point with the umbrella. His mom was there, and he was standing next to his mom. I mean, what is wrong with people? And his mom, it was a hot day. It's raining.
You got to admit it made a funny image, dude. His mom's at NFL practice holding a fucking umbrella over his head. Come on, that's a funny image, John.
They have family days like all the time.
Yeah,
like,
I know that.
They have a family tent. They have family, like guys are like, Keely Ringo's mom is down there every day wearing like a Gilly outfit. Gilly, the kid with the goopy hat.
Yeah.
I mean, like it ain't a big deal. That's all I'm trying to say.
That's fine.
He's waiting to do an interview with I remember it so much because I think Bob Gross might have taken the picture, at least one that went somewhat viral. And he's like waiting there to do a TV interview with and he's sitting next to his mom. He's standing next to his mom. His mom was hot. She had a little parasol, whatever the hell it is.
All right,
I'm like, people lose their minds over bullshit. Over bullshit. Now he couldn't play. That's the more important part. But it's not that he couldn't play because he was under his mom's umbrella at training camp.
Here it is. Here it is for those who have never seen it. There's the famous photo of JJ and his mom standing under the umbrella.
I'm like, people are nuts, man. They're nuts. It wasn't a big deal.
Even if it's not a big deal, it's still funny. I don't care what you say. It's funny. It is. It's just a funny photo.
If that were it, and the people didn't take it to the level they took it, I'd agree with you. But that's not the way it was taken.
Well, that's because we got an immature world, John. That's the reality of the situation. All right, but I hear you. Here's Pumper. What's up, Pump? I went back and I watched some 22 tape. Biggest difference, QB was way faster back then. Legs opened up the passing game. Too bad his hammies are cooked. I don't think Jalen's ever missed anything for a hammy. Has he?
Come on. Pumper's not to be taken seriously.
He's
you see the two quarterback draws against the Lions?
Yeah.
They weren't bad.
He's certainly not as fast as he was in 2022. He was a machine in the run game. He was a beast.
Well, they do it, but the difference between, and why I don't go back to 2022, and I don't think it's relevant, is they played a different style of football because there's two eras here that we're talking about. Pre-Saquon Barkley and post-Saquon Barkley. And post-Saquon Barkley is different than pre-Saquon Barkley. They were still a run-heavy team, but they realized with Miles Sanders and DeAndre Swift, they had to do some different things. Now they haven't come to that conclusion, and maybe they should because Saquon isn't the same as he was last year. But that's a different conversation. They don't play the same style.
And here's Pumper. We got another Pumper. This should be a Keeley game. Fire. We need his impressive length and physical frame. Adoree should be sat, and we have my seventh heaven take the challenge. All right.
Yeah. Adoree has won the job. Adoree's the starting quarterback. Now he's cornerback. Now he's gotten banged up a number of times. So that's not to say you won't see Keeley. And Vic is very quick with the hook on that as well. So, but it's Adoree's job to lose. And he ain't losing it if he plays the way he played the last 2 weeks, which he probably won't. So there you have it.
Come on, Pump. Did you have to word this that way? Here's Dank. What's up, Dank? Not saying 50-50 split with Saquon, but 8 to 12 carries can't hurt. It would also take some pressure off Barkley.
God, 50-50. Oof. Look, Tank's the flavor of the month. He has done very well in his short sample sizes. He's got a long history of fumbling the football. I have a feeling the first time that happens,
it's over.
It might be over.
That's it. I'm with you. The Eagles do not like turnovers, evidently. They have literally pissed off all their receivers. They have changed their offense completely. They no longer use their offense much because for the name of turnovers. If Tank has one turnover, he might get cut. No, I'm just kidding. Wade says, the one gap all year Saquon got, he took 60 yards for a touchdown and wasn't even close. He's not washed. Teams aren't afraid of Tank like they are Saquon. That's true.
Well, that's true. I mean, come on.
One's going. Saquon's maybe looking for that big play a little too much right now in the backfield.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't say the one time though that I disagree. The one gap, and by the way, that wasn't a gap. That was like the left lane on I-95 because Tank could have ran through that as well. So it's it's a give and take with both parts of the running game. But yeah, I mean, what are we doing here? I'm not going to compare Saquon Barkley. I'm not even going to put Tank Bigsby in the same sentence as Saquon Barkley. Yes, obviously teams are more concerned about Saquon Barkley than Tank Bigsby. One's going to the Hall of Fame. One's, hey, maybe he's a good backup running back.
You think Saquon's going to the Hall of Fame? Yeah. Doesn't have the numbers yet.
Yeah, he's going. He's already there. I already said that. His reputation amongst his peers. Now he's got to finish his career. He can't just stop playing. There's got to be some.
I don't know. We had Hall of Fame voter Jason Cole who said no, not yet, no way.
Well, he's talking about longevity, yeah, from that standpoint. But he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. That's what I'm saying. Because my perception is he's not going to stop playing. He's going to have a few more 1,000-yard years, and at that point, the longevity will match up with his reputation amongst his peers, and he will be in the Hall of Fame. Very comfortable with that prediction.
Yep, we'll see what happens with it. I hope he does go to the Hall of Fame. That'd be pretty sick. I hope he goes in as an Eagle. It would be even cooler. So good stuff there. Appreciate everybody for being here. All right, Johnny Mac, 5 minutes left on the show today. We're going to have a great Football Friday tomorrow with Oscar Budajin. I love Oscar Budajin. We've only had him on I think once or twice here, but I do love talking to him. A lot of good commentary coming into this game. It's a good one, John. I think it's a game that fans shouldn't go to sleep on. I think we're going to win. I think we're the better team than Dallas, but I do think they present a pretty good matchup for this Eagles team based on the way we're playing. Defense has really come alive, and their offense is good. Our offense has struggled, and their defense has started to get a little bit better, but is overall a pretty bad defense statistically. It should be a good matchup.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a better game than some of the fans who think they're just going to roll down there. I think it's going to be a difficult game. And it's, as I said, there's something to the fact that one team is going to be much more desperate to get the win by hook or by crook than another team that has a large margin for error when it comes to records. But the Eagles have proven to handle that kind of stuff before and just go down and win. But this is a game I'm struggling with, and I haven't decided who I'm picking. So I am considering picking the Cowboys. But, the Eagles usually find a way to win. So it's tough. It's always tough to pick against them. Always.
It is. The team has won at an unprecedented clip, no doubt about it. And if they win the turnover battle, I will make the absolute prediction that they will win the game if they win the turnover battle. And they probably will, considering every once in a while, Dak will give you a turnover. How many turnovers does Dak have this year? Because I think Dak's
not a lot. He's
people do not like when I say Dak's having a good year. It's amazing. These fans, they get that might be the number one thing that pisses them off if I say that when Dak is having a good year.
The absurdity of not admitting players on the opponent are not good players. I mean, when they objectively are, is one of the things that I will never understand. I will never understand.
6 picks this year, Dak. He's got 6. I don't know how many fumbles he has, but he's got 6 picks so far, 21 tutties.
Yeah, and you know, that's 6 is not a ton considering how much they throw the ball. It's peaked. I know he's at 3 for a while, so he's throwing a little bit more recently. But Jalen's got 1. How many times has Jalen Hurts thrown the ball?
They're 29th, I think, or 30th in the league in attempts.
Yeah, but still, he's got 1 interception. 1 interception.
Well, there are people out there, and I'll just get your take on this. I'm not saying I'm one way or the other. There are people out there who say, no shit, he doesn't have picks. He doesn't throw the ball into the teeth of the coverage.
Well, yeah, that's part of it. That's the point. So it's, again, everything's a give and take. There's only one time in the history of football, I keep bringing this up, one time, nobody else has ever done it. Nobody has ever thrown 500 NFL passes over any span ever with just 1 interception. It's actually 2 or less. Sorry, 2 or less. So 581 pass attempts, 2 or less interceptions. Nobody's ever gone 500. He's at 581. Yes, part of that is being cautious. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's still insane. And when you couple that with 40-2, and that's the Eagles' record when they win the turnover battle, you kind of see their thought process.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand Nick more now than maybe ever.
So, yes, you know, if he threw, that's my whole point. Be careful what you wish for, to the point of if they threw the ball around the field like the Dallas Cowboys, yes, he's going to throw more interceptions.
Yeah, just be prepared for a lot of Eagles fans because they don't. This is ugly to watch. Leader of 3, we lead the top of the NFL in 3 and outs. We're bottom ranked offense every single year. I get it. It's I'm not saying what you're saying isn't true, but the Eeyores aren't going away, both on the team.
Oh, I know that. I know that. You know, and you already have it. You know, 200. It's 269 attempts, 1 interception this year, which is freaking incredible. The interception percentage, by the way, 0.4%. Now, he's always taken care of the football. He's never been above 2.8%. He's had a 1.3 year when they went to the Super Bowl in 2022 and a 1.4 year when they went to the Super Bowl in 2024 after 2024. This year, it's 0.4 interception percentage. Unheard of. There's good mixed amongst the bad. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough. John, your final thoughts here with a Thursday edition. What's on the agenda for the Birds today?
Practice 2:15, locker room 4:30-ish, something like that. So
late one.
We'll get to see if Cam Jurgens is out there. I don't expect him to be out there. Obviously, Lane's not going to be out there.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have Brett Toth and Fred Johnson on the offensive line this week.
I saw somebody say Fred is not that big of a drop-off. Guys, Lane Johnson's a Hall of Fame.
What the fuck are we doing here?
So
Fred, what is wrong with me?
I shouldn't have said that to piss you off on your way out the door.
I mean, what is wrong with people?
Oh man, that's funny, man.
You might be talking about the greatest right tackle of all time. Oh, not that much of a drop off. What the fuck? Yeah,
I
you
don't
pissed me
know,
off.
John. I really don't fucking know, dude. John, good stuff, my man. John, before you get down there, try and remember to text Machota. I'd love to get him on. I know you're going to be busy as hell once you get down to the Novacare complex.
Yeah, I will do that.
All right, J Mac. Good stuff, my man. I appreciate you as always, brother.
All right, see ya.